Alrighty. Good morning, humans of Earth. It is Monday, November 13th, 2017. This is Sovereign Starseed, and I am pleased to bring you the daily crypto news. Every day at 10 a.m., I try to give you guys the crypto news. Today is the first day that I'm doing this, so I'm experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties right now, and I just thank you for your patience there. Alright, so yeah, getting into it. Basically, today is an important day for Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold has launched today officially, and so transactions are going live on its network. If you have been following this channel and been following some of the investment moves, you will now be able to put your Bitcoin Gold that you got for free into action today, because Bitcoin Gold was something that it was born out of the fork of a blockchain. So basically, the newest fork of the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, is officially live after a rocky start. Developers for the project for Bitcoin Gold published the software today, releasing its code on GitHub. So now you guys can go ahead and download it. You can download the software. As such, the launch caps a lengthy period of development for the cryptocurrency, which follows Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Gold is actually going to be following Bitcoin Cash, and this is why it's a very important time for it right now to be launching, because there's a whole bunch of like tug of war, civil war going on in between blockchains, which is exciting, you guys. This is a great time to be alive, to see what type of technologies are going to take over the planet, and basically it's going to be technologies that the planet needs, that humanity wants, as opposed to just like one small group of people that want something for the whole planet. So I think this is beautiful. Yeah, this is great. So there are some people that are having problems connecting to nodes today, and they're also getting, some people are getting spam messages to fake software clients. So we just want you to go ahead and make sure that you do your own research. Only download the Bitcoin Gold software directly from the developers on their GitHub page. Boom. Here's the GitHub page right here. Boom. It's called BTC GPU. And, make sure that you're getting it from this repository, and that you have all of these different, the same information is matching, just because there's going to be quite a few people trying to hack and scam people today for their money as they download this new software. So I want you guys to be prepared, and I want you guys to be making sure that you're not getting scammed. Okay, cool. So the next thing is that Bitcoin is still falling, and so the price of it is still just, nobody knows where it's going to end up stopping. And I think this is also a great time to end up starting to buy into Bitcoin. If you haven't already been doing dollar cost averaging or watch my most previous investment video, make sure that you're doing dollar cost averaging so that you get into Bitcoin at a stable price. Let's see, something else too is that right now, whenever you are getting into Bitcoin, just make sure that you're buying it from somebody that you trust. And then you can also use things such as like local Bitcoins. And I'm sorry, I just got some other stuff happening over here. All these notifications popping up. Okay. So yeah, basically, make sure that you buy it from somebody you trust, either Coinbase.com, localbitcoins.com. Make sure you're using a verified seller of over 100 transactions with at least 98 to 100% accuracy or trustability on their site. Next thing I want to end up pointing out is that this is something that's really cool, is that the SAFT is a system of regulatory uncertainty. So basically, this is something that I just kind of want to end up talking about a little bit, because yesterday I was talking about the tokenization of assets and why that's important for us to be aware of and what that means to us. So let's put to rest a common misconception. Let's see. This is an article that's going to detail kind of like the ways that a security or one of these coins evolves, so that way you guys can better understand how it's going to be hard for the SEC and hard for regulating bodies to try to wrestle this Bitcoin and these ICOs and these tokens. They're going to try to wrestle those into like an current investment vehicle, so that way they can try to figure out a way to put laws on it, so that way they can like law it up and make sure that people, you know, are only following the rules for cryptocurrencies that bankers say. So basically, just wanted to end up going ahead and saying this, is that the SEC and all these other investment bodies are going to try to use certain language and use certain terminologies to describe how cryptocurrencies are and describe what they are. And while some of that will be correct, there will be a lot of technology that cannot be talked about in previous terms or in past tense terms, because cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is a current and futuristic technology. So we'll only be able to speak about these things in present and future terms. And you're like, dude, what are you talking about? Here's what I mean, is that you're going to see the SEC and all these other places, all these other governmental bodies trying to say that Bitcoin is basically a security that has this, and it does that, and it is this, and what it does is this. And so when they're speaking in terms like that, those are usually past terms, except for is present. And they're going to be like, it's just like any other insert X financial instrument here, which will be like, it's just like any other government bond. It's just like any other treasury note. It's just like any other insurance plan, mutual agreement. It's just like any other thing like that. So you're going to see a lot of these regulating bodies try to approach a new technology with obsolete thinking. And that's the point that I want to make here. And that's also the point that this article wants to make as well, is that Brian Quintens, sorry if I'm butchering your name, bro, commissioner of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, said that crypto tokens offered in a pre-sale can transform. He added, they may start their life as a security from a capital raising perspective, but then at some point, maybe possibly quickly or even immediately, turn into a commodity. So as you can see, what he's talking about is that what this is that there's going to end up, they're trying to create like a new structure that is going to allow the SEC to show that tokens are not securities. And basically let me just go ahead and go through some of this here. I could be wrong with what I just said there. The impetus behind the SAF structure, which is what he's creating, is the fact that there is no bright line rule that determines which type of tokens are securities and which are not. Instead, what qualifies as a security can only be determined by an application of the flexible Howey test to the facts and circumstances of particular tokens. So, in the face of this uncertainty, someone who would like to pre-sell a token that they believe will be a commodity when it is delivered in the future can, in the present, issue a security that promises investors delivery of tokens once a functioning network or application has been developed and tokens can be issued on it. So what this guy is doing is he's trying to figure out a way to help the SEC. Sounds to me like he's trying to figure out a way to help the SEC make sense of what cryptocurrencies are, which I think is good. And this is going to be a very, very tricky situation that's gonna happen here. It even says right here, no guarantees. There are two things to note about this arrangement. First is that the structuring is not guaranteed to work. So perfect, right there is where I can agree with it, is that, you know, with these types of approaches, we're trying to approach all this new technology with like one umbrella. And a good analogy for that is to try to say that we're about to go out into a rainstorm with an umbrella, and we don't know how hard the rain is going to be. We don't know if it's just going to be rain or if there's going to be hail, sleet, snow, and all this other stuff that comes down from the sky as well. And so if we try to go outside with an umbrella right now, it's only making us look like fools. So that's what I'm trying to say with this, is that like if we're trying to approach any of these types of cryptocurrency technologies with current investment vehicles and current language and current um, just current perspectives on the planet. I don't know any other way to say it. If we do that, though, we are basically doing a disservice to ourselves, and it's going to take us a lot longer to wrestle this down. Sovereign Starseed's suggestion right now, I always have the right to go ahead and change what I say here, but I just suggest that we sit back, we observe, and we watch how these blockchains form and develop. And so there's not going to have to be a whole bunch of government bodies trying to jump on it and trying to be like, oh, I figured out how to regulate this. Oh, I figured out how we're going to nail this down. Oh, I figured out how we're going to stop terrorism on the Bitcoin platform. I figured it out. Johnson. We're going to end up writing up this one document, and this one document we're going to sign in, and it's going to blanket all cryptocurrencies coming out in the future. Here's what I just want to end up saying to the people of Earth. Right now, we're at a beautiful time to be alive. We have some great technology that's about to come out to us. If we try to wrestle it down too quickly, we are going to stunt our own species' growth. That is my point. That's all that I'm trying to say, is let's not try to lock this technology down too fast here. Let's try to see how it plays out. It hasn't even been around for a decade. And now we're just starting to see critical mass adoption happening. All right? So, yep, there's going to be some people that are going to lose some money. Yep, there's going to be some bad things that are going to happen. Yep, that stuff has happened within fiat governments as well. And what I got to say is that we cannot go ahead and approach this with the same type of reasoning, the same type of mindsets that we've approached how we're going to stop all those things that we have with fiat. Okay, so that's just basically what I'm trying to say. And if we go ahead and hold off on trying to regulate this stuff so fast and trying to nail it down, then we'll be able to see how this flourishes on the planet and see how it makes our planet thrive, guys. So that's just what I'm trying to say here, is that I don't have any problems. I understand. Here's what I got to say is I understand that the governments have to do what they have to do. They're trying their hardest to try to make themselves relevant, to try to be oh my gosh, we got to do things for our people. We must help them. We must protect them from themselves, is what some of them think. And here's what I have to say is that that's nice. Thank you. But right now, it's unnecessary. Just my stance. This stance could change. It could change at any time. I reserve that right. I'm a human as well. So check this out. Immature no longer. Brazil's central bank is ramping up its blockchain network. Let me go ahead and check this, make sure anything's going off. Okay, yeah, no, there isn't anything going off. Okay, cool. So the Central Bank of Brazil is building with just about every blockchain it can get its hands on, which I think is beautiful. This is coming from CoinDesk as well. In a new interview about its plans for the nascent technology, members of the central bank's blockchain team revealed they are resuming work with R3's core distributed ledger platform, months after ceasing development because the technology was deemed too immature. So basically what's happening is that Brazil is doing everything that it can to try to end up getting into blockchains, as many blockchains as they can, and I'm loving that. I think that's beautiful, because that is what I'm talking about, guys. Let's just go ahead and try to make an observation on this channel right now. I'm going to say that you're going to see less spoiled countries embracing technologies like this faster, and you'll see more spoiled countries embracing technology like this slower. And it's just nature, baby. It's just how it has to go, because those spoiled countries have systems set up that they're very proud of and that they've spent a lot of time creating. So it's going to be hard for them to I guess create an update to their systems, because I'm not saying that their systems have to completely go away, but I'm saying that a massive restructuring, a massive update has to happen. We're going from 1.0, and we're not going from 1.1. We're going to 2.0. And like that's the whole thing. We're making a massive update in the system, and that's what this cryptocurrency is pushing in. So next thing, and something else I want to end up talking about after this as well. So let's see. UN agencies are turning to the blockchain to fight against child trafficking. So I think this is pretty interesting how the UN is wanting to now rely on this technology to stop what it was doing beforehand. And so what I say is that this is good, and I'm glad that the UN is trying to look at the blockchain for stopping human trafficking. It's going to look at the blockchain for drug control. It's going to look at the blockchain for all the other terrorism things that terrorism supports. But I want the UN to make sure that it is working very, very intimately with the people that are taking notes in Singapore, the people that are taking notes in Malaysia, and the people that are taking notes in Brazil, because these are the people right now that have a lot of good knowledge on these blockchains, and they have a lot of good knowledge on how to implement them the best. So I think that if the UN is wanting to embrace this, then the UN needs to go right over to those places and say, what data have you guys gathered? How can we look at the blockchain to stop human trafficking and also do it in a healthy way? How can we ask the people of Earth? How can we propose something to the people of Earth that's going to make everyone happy and still respect everyone's rights and still give everyone the privacy that they need? And it's hard. This isn't easy. This isn't easy, but this is why we have to pay these people these big bucks for this. But this is why we pay these people these big bucks, and it's not happening yet. So what it's going to start to do is that, like, if people don't start to use these blockchain technologies in a correct way, there will be cryptocurrencies that are going to come out that are going to be empowering the people completely. I'm going to be talking about some of those coins on this channel coming up. And those coins are the ones that are going to put fear into regulators' hearts very fast, because regulators are going to see their relevancy just going right out the window. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about something else that I think is pretty interesting too. Avi, if you're watching this, thank you so much for your question yesterday. I was not able, I don't know why, but like I didn't see it in the chat before I disconnected my stream. But you had asked the question about this, about how there's a conspiracy about how Bitcoin could possibly be a creation of the NSA. And I want you to know that I am not completely in the dark on that theory. I am also not completely dismissive of that theory. I, like a good philosopher, am weighing and I'm considering that theory, that there is the possibility that the NSA could have created Bitcoin. It could have created Satoshi Nakamoto. It could have created an alias, so that way it can end up getting out a certain type of technology to the world that gets the whole world to want to track themselves. So that is the possibility there. And what I could say is that I'm still using the blockchain technology right now because it is a better alternative to the centralization that we currently have. But I'm also wanting to make sure that we basically really like position blockchains and position this technology in a way that benefits everybody. It makes everybody comfortable. It has to be attractive to people. Right now, the only thing that's attractive to people is how much money they can make from it. You know, like from a really basic level. And that's what's sad, is that I want blockchain technologies to be something that's attractive to people for way more than just making money. And that's why I want to end up, highlighting certain places on the planet and certain technologies that are using it in good ways. So there are blockchains out there for charities. That's what I'm all about, baby. There's blockchains out there that are for welfare. There are going to be blockchains out there that are going to be decentralized forms of government. And you'll be able to see those forms of government just automatically evolve. So I'm just going to end off with saying this, is that, yeah, it's completely possible that Bitcoin and the blockchain technology could be an NSA, CIA, some type of conspiracy, Illuminati, elitist creation. It absolutely could be. It is currently a step up from what we had with centralized banks, where everybody would be tracking everything on us. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and there's still a lot of transparency that needs to be had. And so from that, I can also understand why, if there is a real Satoshi Nakamoto, and this is a legitimate and genuine and sincere effort to humanity that came out of one person or a group of people that wants to benefit the planet, I can also see why they want to keep their anonymity right now. But at the same time, I can also see why, governments and things like that are trying to struggle for a way to try to track the planet and try to track the population and try to take control from the people. And one way that they were going to do that maybe could be to release a paper called Bitcoin under an alias called Satoshi Nakamoto, and they could do that. There have been groups, there have been secret societies that have done that. There could be a secret society that's doing that, and this is completely possible. Completely possible. Here's the most beautiful thing, though, is that now that it has been started, there have been multiple other blockchains that have copied this technology and have gone ahead and went and ran with it way further than what Bitcoin can do with it. And that's what I think is beautiful, is that we will take this technology and evolve it further than what it was originally. And that in alone will allow the people to see, that, like, okay, we can be free here. The only concern that I have is that, is that a lot of these cryptocurrencies are still based on Bitcoin as being its standard. And I would love to see the people of Earth start to develop blockchains that are completely independent of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency, that are completely not even, it doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin, has no standard on it. Hey, Bill, thank you for joining in, brother. Appreciate you. If government messes up one chain, we will move to another. You're exactly right. That's exactly what I'm talking about here too, is that, like, if we start to get tracked onto something, we're just going to move to another one, baby. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's the most beautiful part about this now, is that, and guess what? We're going to see that happening. We're going to see massive corruption going through Bitcoin. In fact, if you're interested in it, I will talk a little bit about it on this channel if you want to know about it. But there's massive corruption that's going on in Bitcoin right now. I'm not saying that I'm in the dark on that, and I'm not trying to hold back from it. But I just feel that there's more important things to talk about rather than that. And if you guys feel that you guys want to end up seeing something different, please let me know. And I'd definitely love to end up speaking about some of that. But my point is that there's going to be a lot of corruption with Bitcoin. There's going to be corruption in Ethereum. There's going to be corruption in a whole bunch of these other blockchains, right? And we're going to see the most corruption in the first few blockchains. And as our species starts to clean ourselves out with our intentions, and we start to see why we're doing this and what we need to do this for, as well as the planet's resources, as they start to change, and how much each person could actually even use, as that starts to change, we're going to start to clean out our intentions, and we're going to start to evolve consciously. And the blockchains that are going to be coming out in a few years are going to be they're going to be a lot more automated in a way that's just going to induce transparency. It's going to induce just good things out of our people. It's going to allow us to be more conscious. It's going to allow us to do things that we won't have to end up worrying so much about, of trust and things like that. So I absolutely see it. I absolutely foresee that there's going to end up being lots of corruption that's going to end up happening in the first few years of these blockchains. But that's because, the savageness of humanity and the species is still something that we have to pay attention to, we have to honor, and we have to work out. And then once we're able to end up working out some of that savageness, some of that greed, we've gotten a lot of capitalism put into us now. So that's going to take a couple blockchains to get out of us. Once we start to see that, then we're going to start to see blockchains that are very healthy for people. And we're going to see blockchains that are going to be things that are going to benefit our lives in such beautiful ways that it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem. So thank you guys for watching, this channel. I try to do crypto news every day at 10 a.m. Today I had a little bit of technical difficulties, so like I'm streaming it a little bit differently, but we still try to make it work. And if you like what I'm saying here, make sure that you hit the like button, follow, turn on the post notifications so that you know when I'm going live. I try to do this every day at 10 a.m. And so we're going to end up trying to come back here tomorrow at 10 a.m., meeting up, discussing, as well as talking about some of the more interesting and fringe topics that are going on with cryptocurrencies, as well as the rest of the world. So, hey, Shining Rays, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. You can't have the good without the bad. However, the light always shines through the darkness. Hey, I think that's pretty appropriate with your username there. Appreciate it. Hey, appreciate you too, Bill. That's great, man. Not only are you going to get crypto news on this channel, we're going to end up doing things such as like investment techniques. Last night I was talking about dollar cost averaging and showing, us how we can make sure that we're buying into Bitcoin and we don't even have to worry or get emotional about the price of Bitcoin anymore, using dollar cost averaging in my most previous video. And we also like to study other things too. So like I feel that the people of Earth could use a lot of technology in the form of spirituality. And there is a lot of need for consciousness to be raised on the planet. And once consciousness can be raised on the planet through spiritual technology and just becoming aware of ourselves, then we're going to be able to end up approaching, creating blockchains and creating technologies that we've always needed. They're going to be blockchains that are going to make me cry because they're going to be so beautiful. So beautiful. So anyways, thank you. Yes, thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. I agree with that. Yeah, thank you. This is something that is so beautiful with this. Blockchain is something that I want anybody to end up realizing that, like, it's something that is, you can put aside your gender right now. You can put aside like the things of being like, oh, hey, I'm a man for blockchain or I'm a woman for blockchain. You can just say I'm for blockchain. You could put aside your race right now. You could stop thinking so hard about the separation of our species. You can stop saying like, oh, hey, I'm so happy that I'm white. Hey, I'm so happy that I'm black. I'm so happy for all these things. Just be like, hey, I'm so happy to be alive and that we can all now contribute to the earth, basically, regardless of who we are. You don't have to worry about your religion with this type of thing. You don't. You can invest in, you can buy in, you can do things where you'll be part of it. So you don't have to worry about saying like, hey, my religion is part of this, my religion is not part of this. You could just say, look, this is something that's beautiful, that's going to affect the whole planet going forward, so I might as well get into it as fast as possible, embrace it, and see how it's going to open me up as a person. And that's where our species is going to start to really evolve really fast. Once we start putting aside our gender problems, our race problems, and our religion problems, oh my goodness, that's going to make me happy. That's going to make my heart really swell. And that's when we're going to start to see blockchain technologies doing things that you guys, oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot wait. Yes. Oh boy, that's right, 46 and 2 ahead of me. We're sitting here, we're evolving, brother. And that's how it is. Shout outs to Maynard James Keenan. Actually, dude, Bill, thank you so much, bro. Oh my gosh, you actually just helped me. I need to put on 2 things now. We're going to be doing this thing on Sovereign Starseed called the Starseed Showcase. And it's going to be talking about the different spirits that have taken on human bodies and have taken on a massive amount of work in order to evolve the planet. And I feel Maynard James Keenan is somebody that you can absolutely put on the Sovereign Starseed list. He's somebody that is definitely different, and he came into the planet to show a lot of people a lot of different technologies. It's beautiful because he used the music channel to get a lot of technology to us. Apparently, you and I can relate on that. See, look at that. That's beautiful. So Maynard James Keenan, and then there was somebody else that like you just, oh, because of your username, I'm gonna put Bill Hicks on there. Have you ever heard of comedian Bill Hicks? Gosh, that dude is like, he's awake. He is ahead, and we need to honor him on that. So, all right. So then with this, this has just been beautiful. Thank you so much for participating today in the chat, because that helps me out a lot. And thank you for following anybody that's watching. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing. We're going to be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for some more crypto news. Don't worry, I always got some good stuff to talk about, because there's like encyclopedias of data of news coming out about this every day, and Fox is not going to be able to cover this, baby. Fox is not going to be able to get all this stuff. So make sure that you stay tuned, turn on those post notifications, whatever channel you're watching on. And you know what, I'm going to end up seeing you guys. Let me make sure. Yep, I will catch you as much as I can. Time is our only enemy. Hey, you're right. That's what I'm constantly saying, bro, is that time is short. Life is short. So as this is, we need to end up valuing our time. Make sure that if you're going out, you're doing something today, make sure to add some meaning to your life. Because it's up to us to add the meaning to our lives, and it's up to us to hold these cryptocurrencies, and not just cryptocurrencies, but everything else in a very, very good way. So, man, I just appreciate you guys so much for being able to catch in, for being here, for being on this planet with me at this time, because I'm just grateful for this. And so with that, I'm going to be signing off here in just a second. And, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Sovereign Starseed signing.